All right, so the question today is, can someone upgrade from a healthcare assistant job position to that of a registered nurse here in the UK? Can one be able to switch from becoming a healthcare assistant here in the UK to becoming a registered nurse here? Well, before I answer your question, my name is Chinyere Ojike and you are most welcome to my channel. I sincerely appreciate your stopping by for the first time today, and thanks to you as my returning subscriber. But if you're new, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button to support this video to grow. All right. It is an easy answer. The answer is absolutely yes and yes and yes over and over again. If you are migrating to the UK as a healthcare assistant, remember that your visa duration for the contract is 5 long years. Yes, so so particularly 5 years is a long time, a long period of time for you to work as a healthcare assistant here in the UK. So during that process, you can decide on the route you want to take. But I am sitting down here today making this video in reference to the questions I got from 3 nurses, yeah, who are in Africa wishing to come work in the UK as healthcare assistants. Interestingly, the package for a UK assistant job offer is something very attractive for carers coming in here to work as a HCA. It is absolutely a great offer. If you have never been a nurse, you are not a midwife, it is something that you would like to take up, And remember the package allows you to bring in your dependents, your wife or your husband, your children. Yeah, and you can stay here for 5 years. You can even extend your visa duration at the end or at the expiration of that 5 years contract, which is something fantastic, But being that I am sitting down here responding to the questions I got from these nurses, I would say that since you have been practicing as a nurse in your home country or as a midwife, you moving into UK with a healthcare assistant visa route, you will be starting on band 3. Whereas if you had to come in as a nurse, they will be starting you up on band 5, and you will be earning as much amount as the nurses earn in this country. But the salary package for a healthcare assistant is quite different from that of a qualified nurse. And the route for you to practice here as a nurse is very simple. In the past, honestly, it wasn't easy for international nurses to come into UK to practice, because I recalled my roommate in those years, 8 years ago, Constance by name. She was already practicing as a nurse because she's qualified. She practiced as a nurse in Nigeria. Coming into UK, she couldn't practice because they needed her to go through another further studies here. Despite coming in here, she enrolled into the university then to study community health. She studied that for 3 long years, and then school fees in the UK was 7,000 plus. That was what I paid, 8 years ago. So she paid for 3 years and leaving her family in Nigeria. At the end of her 3 years program, she wasn't still allowed to practice as a nurse, so she had to do an additional program she studied for her to be able to start practicing in the UK. But the good news these days is you are simply required to do a professional exam or test of English exam, which is simply the OET or IELTS. Once you pass it, you are here. Nobody is asking you to go to the university here. Hence, you are already practicing as a nurse, as a midwife in your country. IELTS, OET, either of this proof of English examination, it's all that is required of you to do in your home country. And then you move in here, you start practicing as a nurse or a midwife, earning the stipulated salary of a nurse, and you'll be living happily. I wouldn't be saying that IELTS is an easy exam for you to write. It's just a proof of English exam, and the UK NMC requires you to have an overall score of 7, total of 7 in all 4 categories. Basically you are expected to have 6.5 in writing, and 7 in reading, 7 in speaking, 7 in listening, but the overall total of 7 for you to be able to for you to be able to certify to come in here and work. This is all that is required. But you can as well move in here as a healthcare assistant, even when you are already qualified and have been practicing as a nurse or as a midwife in your home country. Yes, because once you arrive here on a 5 years visa, you can bring in your family, but that notwithstanding, if you still want to switch to becoming a nurse, remember that you have to complete that 5 years contract here. And for you to still become a nurse, that same exam that you were like, or you got tired of trying to do it. Probably you have done IELTS once, twice, 3 times, and you couldn't make it. Honestly speaking, if you still want to switch over to becoming a nurse, having come into the UK as a healthcare assistant, or having moved into the UK as a healthcare assistant, you would definitely pass the IELTS exam or OET exam before ever you can switch. And you have the required grade for you to switch as a nurse. And also, while working here as a healthcare assistant, you can also do the CBT exam. Yes, for you to be registered, officially registered into the NMC here in the UK. But there is a video I would like you to watch. A video that is put up by Pauline Popo Moyo. Yes, you need to check out her video. That video is about 25 minutes, 19 seconds or thereabout. But in that very video, in fact, she is one honest lady I respect so much on the street of Whitey. She does not only put out content for her to earn, but to help people. Now, Pauline Popo Moyo, she is a nurse, a practicing nurse, and she has been a lecturer in the nursing field in her home country before coming here to practice. So you would gain all the vital information. It doesn't take me anything to sit down here and begin to tell you why you shouldn't come into the UK to work as a healthcare assistant when you are already a qualified nurse working as a nurse or a midwife here in the UK. I can sit down and make such a video, but I would want you to go to Pauline's video. I am going to leave the video link in my description. I am going to share the video on my community tab immediately I'm uploading this video so that you can watch it. And if you can't get it, ask me for the link. I will be happy to send you the link to that video. Sit down and listen to Pauline. She gave a proper advice. Hence, she's experienced in the nursing profession and also a lecturer. She advised you against quitting your job in your home country, coming in here to work as a healthcare assistant. Yes, I believe if you listen to her, you would find her video interesting and helpful. Then you make the right decision. I can tell you what, doctors in this very country coming in here to do PLAB 2 in particular, they have 4 chances. If you try first, second, third, fourth, at the fourth, they will ask you to stop if you didn't pass. Then you'll be asked to do a 1-year clinical training. If at the end of it you are true, you will still go back to do the PLAB. But for the nurses, I don't think there is a limit to the number of time you can do OET exam or IELTS exam. And remember, failure is not denial. Once you try, you didn't make it. What would you do? You try again. But let me not just spill everything out. Go to Pauline's video. Every minute or second you would spend watching that content put up by Pauline, honestly, you would cherish it. It is something that would save you a lot of regrets when you move in here as a healthcare assistant when you are already practicing as a nurse or as a midwife in your country. If you are just fresh and you want to come into the UK to become a healthcare assistant, it is good for you. It is a better decision. But if you have already been practicing as a nurse, a midwife, and you want to move in, bring down yourself to a healthcare assistant role, go watch Pauline's video. Listen to her. I believe you will add on. I believe you would definitely find her video very helpful and be able to appreciate it that you didn't make that mistake. I can vividly recall in one of the occasions I was working at Blackburn University those years, I went into a ward that I was, posted to work that night. It was a night duty. The nurses there, they were already complaining and whining. I was like, what's going on? They were talking about a black Nigerian doctor that they asked to do something. He was like, as in, they said the doctor flamed up to say, how could they ask him to do blah, blah, blah? You know, that he's a doctor, they shouldn't. Interestingly, I knew this very doctor. So in the morning as I was leaving, I ran into this doctor. He was telling me the stories of the events that took place in the ward where I worked, because the doctor was still writing his PLAB 2 exam. He had done PLAB 2 3 times. He didn't pass it, you know, so he was working as a healthcare assistant. And then he wasn't finding it really funny and easy playing the role, you know, from a doctor to a healthcare assistant. This is what it's going to be like from a nurse to a healthcare assistant. Another disturbing thing you should be concerned about as a nurse going down to a healthcare assistant job role is that when working here as a healthcare assistant, you are not expected to be doing the role of a nurse. Yes, most healthcare assistants, they are not allowed to do medications. They are not allowed to do injection and all them patients, medication stuff. So basically, by the time you finish your contract at the end of that 5 years, you might be considering going back to nursing school to refreshing up, you know. If these things are the stuff you are willing to take, I wouldn't know. Anyway, watch Pauline Popo's video. You would really appreciate it that you do. Don't make that mistake. Once again, thank you so much for stopping by to watch my content, and I wish you good luck in your application and in all the processes you'll be going through in order to move into UK to work as a nurse, as a healthcare assistant, as a doctor, as a midwife, or as anything in any field in this part of the world. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thanks very much for your time. Bye for now, and see you again in my next upload.